Hey everyone, thank you for joining me on day 3 of 7 of the 7-day video challenge. Today I really wanted to talk about sustainability, and the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because there was an article that just came out, or a video that just came out from Bloomberg that was talking about Terracycle and the consideration that maybe it's greenwashing. We've had a lot of conversations recently in the local ecosystem about greenwashing. It's a really interesting conversation, because when you come down and start talking about sustainability, it is a consideration that is many faceted. It's not something as black and white as just saying, I want sustainable, I want everything to be biodegradable. I remember a conversation that happened at an event that I went to where there was someone from the Plastics Council, and yes, he's got a vested interest, but when someone asked him, what do you think of biodegradable plastics, and is that the solution for all of this plastic waste? His answer was nuance. He said, well, the problem with biodegradable plastics is that it is meant to break down, or is designed to break down with the right combination of criteria. Well, the problem is that it's exactly the opposite of what we want from plastic packaging. We want packaging to be impermeable to light and to air, and to stay that way for a long period of time. So one of the problems that we have to balance all the time is when we talk about some of the novel packaging, biodegradable packaging, are we then reducing the shelf life? And that does happen in some cases. As we improve the technology, definitely it's getting better, but there's always a trade-off, right? And the question becomes, are we impacting the potential shelf life for those products? Because what happens with that is when you impact the shelf life, you increase the amount of food waste, because people, once that's shipped to the grocery store, there's a lesser time for that to be sold, and so whatever's not sold, ends up as food waste. And then the other problem is food accessibility. We all want to address the accessibility of food and hunger in the country, but part of that is also having products that have a long shelf life, because then they can be shipped into certain parts of America and be able to be accessible to everyone. So there's increased cost that comes with some of the novel packaging, which offsets some of the gain that we have, right? And the other problem that we also have is when you have shorter shelf life and you have the associated food waste, well, then you may have to create 2 products, because one product that has kind of expired out and been wasted, to replace that you have to create another product, ship it to the store, and all the carbon footprint that comes with all of those tasks that may not have been done if it had a longer shelf life. So sustainability is not just black and white. It is something that we have to take all of these things into consideration. We all want to save the planet. We all want to reduce that trash island that we see out in the Pacific. But we also have to do it in a way that makes sense. The biggest answer to all of this is us changing our behavior. And some of that is local sourcing, being willing to pay a little bit more money to get a product that's been locally sourced. 2 is going to be for us to be willing to take the time to do multi-stream recycling. Multi-stream recycling is the answer. Single-stream recycling is where we throw everything into all the recyclables into a single bin, and then someone has to sort it out on the other end. And now what we found with China rejecting the single-stream waste is that it is too expensive and it is too difficult to do it. So whatever you're throwing in a single stream recycling bin is most likely, most of it, if not all of it, is going into a landfill. So it's just a vanity thing for us to put it into a recycling bin. It's really going into the landfill. What is a better idea is to do multi-stream recycling, where we separate out. And in some countries, you even have to clean off. So if you have any food residue, you have to wash that off and then put it into the recycling bin. We have to be willing to take some of the pain, right? So if we believe in this and this is our value system, then we have to be willing to take some of the pain. So I hope you're willing to, and it is good to see that some cities are starting to do that. I hope that more and more cities will start moving to multi-stream recycling, so that we can actually have comfort. The stuff that we put in the recycling bin actually is being recycled. So I hope you will join me in thinking through, our goals, our footprint from a sustainability perspective, and try to improve on that. We have many very cool startups here in Chicago, and they're trying to address that problem. And hopefully I'll be able to introduce you to some more of them as we go along. But yeah, thank you for joining me. And then tomorrow, hopefully we'll continue on another theme about how it's not all black and white. There are some considerations when we want good things to happen. So anyway, that's my little rant about sustainability.